Scotty, beam me up.
Oh. Smash. Get over here.
It is pointless to resist.
Episode 3, Geek Den. First of all, may the fourth be with May the fourth be with you.
May the fourth be with you.
Special Star Wars episode. I know we talked a little bit about it in our last 2 episodes, but we're gonna really dig in.
Yeah. Yeah, really.
Sand people frighten easily, but they'll be back and in greater numbers.
That being said,
They travel in single file to hide their numbers.
Going well already.
Off to a roaring start here. You got the
yeah, I just watched New Hope like before.
Please tell us what you think, my friend.
It's still Star Wars. I love it, of course. You know what I mean? It was mostly for background noise, but it's Star Wars Day, so I had to. But, you know, I did it while I was cooking. I watched it while I was cooking dinner and quoted along with it. You know, when Han and Luke are arguing, and it's great. Everything's fine down here. The weapons malfunction.
How are you?
How are you?
I'm just gonna go to Toshi Station to pick up some power converters. And waste time with your friends later.
Oh man.
Does anybody knows how fucking whiny Luke is in that movie?
For fuck's sake.
Yeah.
Yeah, very.
Yeah. How old is he supposed to be? I can't remember.
Luke's supposed to be 19 or 20 years old in that movie.
He's a
The
wiener.
whiny ass college kid.
Yeah, basically. You're not wrong, dude.
Who happens to live with his aunt and uncle, so he doesn't have to pay room and board.
Right, but for a well, yes.
And steam farming is super lucrative.
I know. They'd be making it rain on Tatooine, but then they'd be bringing it right back in with their moisture collectors. Oh, yeah. Baby. Oh, shit. Desert planet, put it back.
So, do we want to like break these movies down? I know we just want to talk about it, but how, Matt, do you want to start us off on something?
Well, what I was going to say about New Hope is so far, it's, in my opinion, at least the second best Star Wars movie. In context of when it was released, and well, I mean, the original 3 are by far the best movies. 1, 2, 3.
Yeah.
And New Hope is at least the second best because it was the very first one.
Yeah.
And it started it all. And then we can argue about which one between Empire and Jedi is the best one of the 2.
Yeah.
But New Hope is it's locked in at least second best.
I'm not gonna argue that.
Yeah, I would agree there for sure. Makes perfect sense. Because not like it was made in an earlier time for one, so like the effects weren't as good, maybe.
Mm.
And then, but it was still way ahead of its time, of course. Like that's a movie that you would have expected to see in 2000.
Yeah.
Instead of in the 1970s.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it was groundbreaking, and that's what ruined the newer stuff for me. Is like it wasn't groundbreaking. They were just kind of doing the same thing. Sure, it was like the landscapes were awesome looking, but like you weren't doing anything too spectacular from what you really did. A lot of
I
people,
think
did, but like for the
think
time and for what
Yeah.
you had available, like nothing beats the original technology and like effects.
I
A
think
lot of practical effects were used. In the
I was just
original
gonna say
trilogy.
thank you. That's basically why a lot of people love the original trilogy as much as they love it, is the practical effects.
Yeah.
ILM was groundbreaking in its day.
Mhm.
They didn't because they didn't have it. They had to make it on the fly so that they could get George Lucas's vision to the screen.
Yep.
Friggin' the cantina scene is a perfect example of that. You know, with all the weird fucking aliens and shit. And you know what? But fun fact: the band is playing a type of music called, and I couldn't make this up if I tried, jizz, Jizz. If I'm lying, I'm dying. Check it on Wikipedia if you don't believe me.
I believe that. I can 100% believe that.
Yeah. You know.
You knew way too much about it to be dishonest about
My knowledge of the Force is.
it. And on your point there, Craig, there was no chance for the prequels to be groundbreaking like the original three. There's just no opportunity. Think about all the other movies that came out around the 2000s, you know, from 98 to 06. Phantom Menace, Revenge of the Sith, and Attack of the Clones, just no risk, none for one. And it's not, the original three were like a space Western. It was an opera. Like it was a big epic story in a tradition of all kinds of epic stories.
Yeah.
The prequels, they weren't episodic, or they were too episodic. I mean, and there's nothing epic about it.
They carried into each other too well.
Way too well. And the other thing working against it, and this is nothing that anybody could help, it was way too hard to watch them and not be meta.
Yeah.
Right? You knew what was going to happen.
Yeah.
Yep.
And the only time they've been able to avoid that or skirt the problem, I suppose, is Rogue One. You forget entirely that New Hope is right after Rogue One until the very end.
Yeah.
When they
I mean, I
passed
jumped
that
way
disc
ahead
up.
in generation there, but they have never ever done that where they could pull you out of knowing what was going to happen and still surprise you.
I get your point now. Yeah, because the original trilogy was just, it was what it was. Nobody knew.
Oh, I mean,
what
a
was coming.
story was created, and all you were really doing was like placing a past on it. Like,
yeah.
We already knew it was going to happen. You just added more characters, a little more exciting, and like threw us the only thing that really threw us off was like the introduction of like Darth Maul and nonsense, you know. But like they're groundbreaking characters, sure, but they're not memorable ones. Like you're never gonna top the top three. Like
they wrecked some of them. Like I guess that's a failing, is they messed up Darth Maul horribly. And it sucks because he was epic.
It was a great character.
Exactly.
Yeah, he was.
I liked him. It was great. A Dathomirian Zabrak as a fucking Sith apprentice with a double-bladed lightsaber. Are you kidding me? That's cool. Oh my god. By the way, quick little thing. They got a whole fucking movie out of a throwaway line that Obi-Wan said in the original movie. Back, I fought with your father in the Clone Wars back before the Dark Times, and we got Episode 2, Attack of the Clones, a whole fucking movie from one line Obi-Wan said. I'm sorry, a mostly CG movie. Sorry, Taylor.
I guess in fairness, it broke ground within the Star Wars universe because Lucas didn't do any of that stuff before. So in that regard, he was improving aesthetically, but character building, storytelling, it was way too smooth, too finished.
It was pointless too.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Keep
Pretty
touching.
much. Their CG game though was getting way better. If you go back and watch the prequels, untouched up, I guess you could say it would be the word. It's a janky ass, 1999 to 2005 computer effects. The dinosaurs in Jurassic Park look a little bit better than the fucking clone troopers. Just saying. So does the T-1000.
I
Yeah,
concur.
that's
It was the same company that did all that shit. By the
there
way.
was so much out there, and the original 3 broke everything you could possibly imagine about movie making, and then they just created something that was just run of the mill. It's special to everyone because it was Star Wars in the end. Like they would have
Exactly.
named it something else, it would have never made it.
But that's
Never.
why prequels don't work, because like they're made so long after the original.
I
with
don't
better
agree.
effects.
The
No,
other thing that worked against this, and let's be real, the fandom. There was no way the prequels were ever going to be enough for any living person on Earth.
Nope.
yeah, no.
None. Even the people that liked it, and I didn't hate it. Any of the 3, by the way. I mean, how can you hate in Revenge of the Sith when you watch Yoda kick ass? The guy is incredible.
Yeah,
Oh,
Revenge
yeah.
of the Sith,
Yeah.
I would have to say, is like my favorite of that generation because
It's
Vader's-
mine too. I saw it in the theaters and it was
Yeah,
fantastic.
actually, a funny story. It was the first Star Wars movie I saw. I did not see any Star Wars movie until I was
Me
about
too.
because I was not interested. But
Yeah.
seeing that kind of, I mean, I knew the story basically enough to like know what was gonna happen because of all the fandom and all the stories that I've heard, but it really attracted me in the end.
Man.
Well, and that was special about it too. Like, how many people got to see a Star Wars movie in the theater? That was an experience back in the day too, right? And I never got to see any of the original 3. I'm just too young. Well, I'm not too young. They would just I couldn't have got there.
You were super young when they came out.
Yeah.
When the second 2 came out, anyway.
And so getting to see the first one I saw was Attack of the Clones in theater, and I wasn't the biggest fan, but I was psyched to watch a Star Wars movie in the theater.
Yeah.
Who wouldn't be?
I've never seen a Star Wars movie in the theater.
So
Yeah.
here's a funny
favor.
story. Sorry, Joe, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, do yourself a favor. Next Star Wars movie that comes out in theaters, go see it, James. And take it away, Matt.
So when they did the number 7, I can't think of the name right now.
Force Awakens.
The Force Awakens.
Jinx, you owe me a Coke.
There you go.
My sales manager
man.
at work had a ticket to the premiere of Force Awakens, but it wasn't just Force Awakens. They started at Phantom Menace and went all the way through all 6 and ended with The Force Awakens. It was like 20 hours of movie. And that was the most fun I've ever had because I got to see the original 3 in the theater.
That's awesome.
So cool.
It was brilliant. And there was dudes dressed up as Jedis and Sith in the parking lot, lightsaber fighting the whole time.
Yeah, when I went to see Revenge of the Sith, I actually went to the midnight premiere, so it was an experience, and I think feeling that energy is what really drove me to it. Like I don't want to say I became like a super fan, but I became a really big fan because of that.
You
That's
fed
right.
off of other people's energy, man. Like those people
Pretty
out there in the
much.
parking lot,
Pretty much,
lightsaber
and like
fighting.
I just ended
costume.
up
How could you not? That's infectious.
exactly, and I just ended up falling in love with like Darth Vader's story. Like I don't know, it just interested me so much.
The story
It's
of Anakin
impossible
Skywalker
not to
is
love an
tragic.
anti-hero. Like the anti-heroes are the greatest characters ever.
Yeah.
In anything.
He's personally like number 2 anti-hero to me. Like
Mm-hmm.
The only other one that tops him is Joker. Acted out and played out, you know. You think of the story, and that's the only one that would top it for me.
That ties back to our pilot episode, guys, when I was talking about like that's why anti-heroes work, like the Punisher and Batman could be kind of an anti-hero because he's a vigilante.
Yeah.
And Jesse Custer from Preacher.
Yep.
Right.
See that? Like a good podcast would bring it all the way back around. Because we're professionals.
And Matt, you touched on it. Empire versus Jedi. Where you lean there?
I like Jedi,
Same.
and it's
Me too.
because
Me too.
my favorite part of the story is the redemption of Darth Vader, not the victory of the rebels, none of that shit. It's Darth Vader living up to what that was his purpose the whole time, was to realize that. And it was done so perfectly. I can't even describe it.
Yep. Definitely a great story there.
What
Like,
his
the
son
storytelling in that movie alone was just top notch.
Yeah.
Yes. Oh,
Like for
His
me,
story.
Jedi is the number one. And Matt, I think you would agree with me there.
Yeah.
For, like, that would be the top Star Wars movie. New Hope would be number 2, and then Empire would be number 3. But they're
It
like
is
all 3 of them are just, they're great. They're great movies overall because
so.
number one, they're way ahead of their time,
Mm-hmm.
and there's just great storytelling throughout all 3 films.
They age so well. All 3 of them. I mean,
very well.
You see the effects and you're like, man, like, 70s and 80s or whatever. But the story is so good and the characters are so good and the aesthetic is so consistent that it's I can still get in just as into it today as I was the very first time I saw it.
Yeah. Hats off to Dennis Muren, Phil Tippett, and Gary Rydstrom, all the OGs at Lucas or ILM, Industrial Light and Magic.
Yep.
We have them to thank for all that cool shit in those original movies.
And isn't that how he pioneered his stereo too? That THX?
Oh yeah, THX 1138. That was the original college film that Lucas made, but like THX was his audio company. When remember that logo that used to come up before a movie? It was like, what?
And it just hummed right in you.
Yeah, it was like I'm not doing it justice.
I couldn't do it either, but I get it.
But yeah, but everybody knows what I'm talking about. Anybody that's watching this knows what I'm talking about too. That's close. That's close.
Yeah.
And
That tripped me out. I didn't see who made that noise.
It was James.
It's gonna be really weird if you're on the bottom screen pointing down at nothing.
Right.
Luckily, you are not.
Who's you pointing at, Craig?
Who's he pointing at?
Yeah.
Joe. G.I. Joe. Gotcha.
Real American hero. And now I know, and knowing is half the battle.
Don't poke me.
Yeah, those. Oh my gosh, it's funny that you mentioned that. Like, Jedi and Sith are my 2 favorite Star Wars movies. Return of the Jedi, Revenge of the Sith, in that order. And yeah, I loved Return of the Jedi when I was a little kid.
Yeah.
Because the Ewoks, I like the Ewoks when I was a little kid, but also like the redemption of Darth Vader and what his son said to him. I sensed the conflict inside you, Father. Let go of your hate. The Jedi, the flame of Jedi has not been extinguished yet. I'm paraphrasing.
Right.
It is too late for me, son. And that then it's true. Then my father is truly dead. Oh, that hit me right in the feels. Like, oh,
Yeah, man.
I can sense that.
Yeah.
And then like and then the end, Palpatine egging Luke on, just take it, strike me down, and become my oh my god, so good, so good. I get too excited, I forget the dialogue.
That's okay. But you bring up the Ewoks in Return of the Jedi. The other thing I remember as a kid is Endor and how they lived in the tree houses.
Yes, that was so cool.
Awesome.
Wasn't it? Oh,
The whole bridgeways and the bridges around their houses. I love that. That's some
primitive
primitive
as fuck, but they made it work.
Well, it's like hundreds of feet off the ground.
Yeah.
That's the first Star Wars movie I remember seeing as a child. Because I was like 6 when I first. No, I was probably younger than that. Probably like 3 or 4. Because I was at a babysitter's house when they were watching it. You know, I remember seeing it, but I didn't really fall in love with it until I was a teenager. Probably about 13 or 14.
Yeah.
But when I could really understand what the hell was going on, it's like they're siblings, you sick bastard.
They were siblings, you sick bastard. They still kissed.
Some kids are just attracted to those stories. I was more attracted to horror, and like what attracted me to Star Wars was Darth Vader. So like it was kind of ironic that I saw was like the birth of Darth Vader. Like,
well, and you bring up Darth Vader. The one thing about the Lucas universe or the Star Wars universe is the richness of those Sith characters. Like there's Vader,
Lord Vader,
and Maul, Snoke a little bit, not as much. But when you go into the other stories, like you admit, have you heard of Knights of the Old Republic, Craig, or any of you?
Yep,
I've heard of it.
I've heard of it.
It's, I think, 5,000 years before the events of the Star Wars movies.
Yeah, I think you mentioned it either last week or in one of our powwows.
Yeah, and it's Lucas isn't writing those, but these are up until Disney bought it. These were canon.
Yeah.
Right, and the Sith are so much better written that you like if that's awesome.
Nice.
This is expanded universe, or this is old EU, which is now Legends. I also have this one, The Ultimate Guide to Warfare.
Oh no.
These books are fucking rad as hell, and they're not applicable anymore.
Yeah. Showed you guys my prize possession is Code 1 official.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah.
That's so cool. Remember you showing us that, man. All right, keep talking, gentlemen. I gotta go grab some. I'll go grab some cool Star Wars shit too. It's May the 4th, so I have the headphones on. I can still hear you.
Well, we've got about 5 minutes left, Craig.
For our first commercial break.
We got a couple minutes left, but I'll just show you this real quick.
I can wait then. It can wait. This is a Star Wars centric episode, so it's all good.
Yeah.
Dude,
I got the whole set.
Awesome.
Hang on. I got some on hand.
Yep, I think we got a little time.
Here's my little piggy bank R2. You can't see the lights fucking up on it.
I can see it.
You can see it.
And then bobblehead Boba Fett. It's a Funko Pop.
It's a Bobble Fett.
Yeah, it's a
Yes.
Not to put too fine a point on it. It's a Bobble Fett. I love that, dude. That's clever as fuck. 1,000 points to James.
Matt's got something.
Ooh.
Oh,
this is what I've got.
Oh,
shut the front door. All right.
Sweet.
we gotta go.
That looks like
to
the
my-
side of Hutch's van.
Joe's going deep.
This is above the toilet in my bathroom. But it's a map of. It's kind of like hold on, let me see if I can center it.
Oh, is that the whole like
Oh, that's neat.
world map?
Yeah, it's. Hold on. Let me take it off the hook real quick. It's just got like it's Tatooine. And like all the shit that's happened throughout the movies and stuff, and it's just got like information of region, outer rim, sector, arcanus, sector, system, tattoo system. Tatooine was described as the place that's furthest away from the bright center of the universe. Wink, wink. The remote desert planet Tatooine bakes beneath its twin suns. It is home to 2 native species, Jawas and Tuskens, as well as a wide variety of newcomers. Tatooine is famous as the homeworld of 2 great Jedi, Anakin and Luke Skywalker.
That's awesome.
Thank you. I picked that up for $10 at Hobby Lobby.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
All right. I think it's time to take our break here.
First commercial break, good, because I need
We'll be right back after a
Let's
word
break.
from our sponsors
Yeah, absolutely.
from the 80s and 90s.
Now for a quick escape on his speeder bike.
You won't get away with this, Han Solo.
New speeder bike with automatic speed flaps. Action figures each sold separately.
Meow.
I've got you now.
Bad chance.
Biker's got to base. I'm in hot pursuit and gaining.
Ah, watch this. Open speed flaps and meow.
I'm gonna crash.
Biker Scout, you're not all you're cracked up to be.
New speeder bike. Action figures sold separately from Kenner's Star Wars Return of the Jedi collection.
New from Kenner's Star Wars collection, the Millennium Falcon that you put together. Batteries not included.
Nice landing, Han Solo. Uh-oh, come on, Chewbacca. Stormtroopers are coming.
Action figures each sold separately.
Got him on radar. I'll fire the laser cannon.
There's even a hidden storage hatch.
Ready for takeoff. Jump to light speed. We're gone. On to the Death Star.
New Star Wars Millennium Falcon. Action figures each sold separately from Kenner.
Yeah, all right. Welcome back. We got a little
Yeah.
announcement at the end of the show here today.
Mm.
So, wink, wink, nudge, nudge. Stay tuned.
Yeah.
Stay tuned.
For the love of God, stay tuned.
Please stay tuned.
Oh, God. Stay
Give you
tuned.
$1.
So we're gonna move on to the prequels here and get a little deeper into them. I want to start with why the fuck Jar Jar is a thing.
Don't know.
There was one good thing that happened involving Jar Jar. One. Yes, there was, Matt. Yes, there was. Is when he put his head in the laser beam of Anakin's pod racer.
When he fried his tongue on the fucking
Yeah,
on the energy beam.
fucking hilarious. That was the only time I liked Jar Jar Binks as a character because it just sounded so stupid that I couldn't help but laugh.
Who didn't?
Bad idea all around.
But other than that, that character was shit. And I will fight anybody over that.
I ain't gonna argue.
I'm not gonna argue with you on it, dude.
Not
The
that one.
only good thing about Jar Jar, I think, I could be wrong, is how they brought him to life through computer generation. Other than that, though, just take a look at that, like how he talks, what he looks like. I don't really need to say anything else.
No, it's pretty terrible.
Yeah.
It's like George Lucas thought, you know what I need in this movie is an alien that looks like a Rastafarian,
But not a good Rastafarian.
but not a good Rastafarian. George, why? Yeah, little
I-
kids like it.
Terrible.
The one alien that pulled off the Rastafarian look was Predator.
Yeah.
Exactly. And he could see infrared.
Mhm.
He didn't have a stupid accent.
Yeah, no shit. Hey, do you guys know this, by the way? The reason Predator has mandibles is because that was a suggestion from James Cameron. Fun fact, yeah.
Dude, I'm a Schwarzenegger whore, so yeah, I knew that.
Well, now you know, and like I always say, knowing is half the battle.
Yeah, Schwarzenegger was my shit. So any and all things Schwarzenegger movies I looked into, like why this is this way. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
That was my shit.
I
Like
love.
I tell people all the time, there's Star Wars people, but then there's people like me. I'm a Terminator guy. I've seen all of
Yes.
these multiple times, and I could talk your ear off about it, but that's not what we're here for today.
Yeah, we're here for May the 4th, but we are May the 4th be with you.
Yeah, we
I-
only
Why did I
1,000.
say the rest?
Huh?
Why did I say the rest with a fucking lisp? I don't know. Well, since we're on the topic of Jar Jar, since we're on.
You know,
Watto,
though,
anybody?
the one thing, well, that was pretty terrible too. I felt like that. His voice was just grating. It was, bleh.
Yeah, he was just a bad character all around.
Yep.
Hey, your Jedi mind tricks don't work on me. I'm a Todarian.
Waddle the racist dog. It's funny.
Yeah. Hey, look at me. I'm an analog for people of the Hebrew persuasion. By the way, we have friends who are of the Hebrew persuasion, and we love them, and we think that Watto's a bit racist.
Yep. Yep. Just a smidge.
A little bit, yeah.
That being said, when the end of that movie comes and you see Darth Maul, like you get right into him, right? You're like, now this has potential. This guy's Star Wars now, right on his shoulders. And then Attack of the
Fucking
Clones.
duel the face, man. Oh yeah.
Yep.
Take one of the most epic Sith characters ever, and reduce him to losing to Wiener Obi-Wan and some old guy.
Yeah.
Get out.
Yeah, I think that's easily my least favorite movie of all the entire series, like all around.
Agreed.
I'm just not into Skywalker story. I mean, I am, but I'm not.
Boba Fett? Are you kidding?
That's Darth
Nice.
Krayt and Darth Talon.
Oh, nice.
They're not canon anymore, but I just thought I'd show you, like, yes, Darth Maul was fucking badass, Matt. But
see those Sith characters. I'm sorry, I'm pointing down on my screen, and he's probably right there.
oh, okay.
But,
You good? You got him.
Oh, right on.
Those villains
Darth
in that
Talon,
canon,
she's a Twi'lek.
yes, they're just brilliant. They're so well written.
Mm-hmm.
But
where Darth Maul in Attack of Clones and Jango Fett turning into a bunch of other little Boba Fetts.
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, to be fair, the reason they picked Boba Fett as the template for the clone army is because he's one of the baddest fucking bounty hunters in the galaxy, and you know, if you're gonna create a grand army of the Republic and make like millions of fucking genetically modified soldiers, you might want to start with a template. A Mandalorian is a good place to start. I'm just saying.
Well, it's not a terrible point, but the only reason in my opinion, that they did this was because of how wildly popular Boba Fett was after the original trilogy.
Didn't care to see him as a kid, though, to be honest.
Not even a little bit.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like, I know the movie was about, Anakin and everything, and it's always his whole story, but like, I don't need childhood stories.
No.
If we had gotten a cool side movie of Boba Fett coming up as a bounty hunter, like after Django's killed in Attack of the Clones, and we get Daniel Logan, who was young Boba Fett, like in a couple movies, moving up, and then gets the fucking cool armor, his dad's armor that he repaints. That would have been one thing. You're right, but we didn't see him in Revenge of the Sith. I don't know. It's like, hey, there's little Boba Fett. We're not gonna see Boba Fett again until Empire.
Yep.
There you go. Have fun.
And where meets him anyway.
Yeah.
Just what an inglorious end for such an epic character. Just okay.
Yep.
Hey, guy who everybody likes.
But I can't remember where I was gonna go there. My memory sucks that bad. But yeah, overall, Phantom Menace just no, completely unnecessary.
As a bottom totem pole.
It ended on a high note, but it overall was very disappointing.
Yeah. And like I it's so far down on my Star Wars list that I forget that Liam Neeson is in that movie sometimes.
Yeah.
Oh yes, the great
I
Qui-Gon Jinn.
I don't watch it because it's horrible. I can't sit through it like comfortably anyway. I can make it all the way to the end, but it takes me some motivation.
Well, the nice thing about excuse me, sorry, Joe. Cough right in your face.
Of course. You're good, brother.
What I was gonna say is that after after the Phantom Menace, when fans really, really just rejected wholesale, what's his name there? The guy we were just complaining about. His name's Jar Jar Binks. Thank you.
Yep.
He really minimized him after that movie. Like,
oh yeah. He was supposed to have a bigger role in Attack of the Clones. And they
nope, he became a senator after that.
Yeah, like maybe 2 minutes of screen time.
Yep. And he was very quiet. And
yep, he said like 2 words.
Yep, basically. He greeted Padme, and that was about it.
Yep.
And then in the third movie, he was at her funeral. And that was all we heard of Jar Jar in Revenge of the Sith. We didn't hear, we just saw.
His funeral.
Well, and you could tell he was reacting to that, right? Like he knew it's like he must have known where whoever he was involved with must have tried to make him do that. That's what I try to believe, because I don't believe he sucks that bad. He can't.
George did say that he kind of created Jar Jar as a character for little kids.
Yeah.
Because little kids, I had little cousins that thought Jar Jar was hilarious when that movie came out, I didn't really, but I could see it from a little kid's perspective. Like, yeah, that's kind of funny. He's goofy, he's slapstick, he talks weird. Like, yeah, a little kid think that was funny. Sure.
That's not what the movies are for.
Nope.
They're for everybody.
You get out of here with that.
Jar Jar Binks is a hemorrhoid on the ass of Star Wars life.
Yes.
I won't argue that.
I believe we're all at the age that we can agree.
Yep.
Even myself, who is a diehard Star Wars fan, I'll rewatch the prequels from time to time, and I just kind of grit my teeth and bear through it when fucking Vader is on the screen.
I usually get up and go pee, even if I don't have to. I'll get up and leave the room just so I don't have to hear him.
The other saving quality, though, of Attack of the Clones and Revenge of the Sith is we get Mace Windu.
Yep.
And he is unfucking believable. Sam Jackson is easily the best Jedi ever.
Yeah.
And the coolest.
All day.
All day, every day.
Samuel L. Jackson just makes every movie that he's in.
He does.
Yeah.
Those first few Marvel Cinematic Universe movies, because you got Nick Fury in there. Primo. They're still cool without him, but they're cooler with him.
Yep. But they all have nods to him when he's not in them.
Yeah.
They're like, so it's like he's still in them.
Oh yeah. He almost got to say motherfucker at the end of Infinity War, but then he turned to dust right before he called Captain Marvel.
Yep.
But guys, on his Jedi or on his lightsaber hilt, he had it the words "bad motherfucker" etched into his lightsaber hilt. I swear to God, like on his wallet in Pulp Fiction, he had it inscribed, and I think there's something that he uses when he's Nick Fury that has "bad motherfucker" scratched on it too.
That's cool.
The inside of his patch.
Bro, I was just gonna fucking say it's probably his iPad. It wouldn't surprise me. That'd be pretty fucking cool.
I actually love finding out in Captain Marvel about that, as an aside from Star Wars, but finding out where he got that
the fucking
patch from was pretty brilliant.
I haven't watched Captain Marvel.
Well, I didn't say how. I just said I liked finding it out.
I know.
So what
I'm
do you
just
think of
saying,
that?
I haven't watched, so I wouldn't know. Yeah.
No, it's a pretty cool reveal.
Yeah. I'll have to watch it one of these nights.
Yeah.
He definitely killed it in Star Wars.
Yeah, he did.
Oh yeah, and the other part about it, this is a double-edged thing with the prequels, like Jar Jar and some of the other species of alien felt very forced, like over-forced because of the CGI ability, and I really think that and the just the complete lack of reason for it made those three weaker for it.
Right. Yeah.
Darth Maul made sense. Maybe a couple of the guns made sense, but everywhere they went, it was another species or 2 or 6 or 12 of aliens, just because.
Yeah, and in the original trilogy, it wasn't like that at all.
Yeah.
You
And
had
it was real. Like
it
it was puppets, I mean.
Right.
Yeah.
Like the only aliens you really see are what? Chewbacca, Yoda, Admiral Akbar, and
Greedo.
Jabba.
Yeah, Greedo. And like the people in the cantina.
The band, yeah.
The Devil Man, the Jizz Band.
Yeah, but then you go to the prequel trilogy and it's just overloaded.
Yeah.
Yeah, they went balls to the wall with their aliens because we have computers. We can make aliens real quick and cheap now. Just because you can doesn't mean you should.
Yeah.
Especially
sometimes
characters who
less
weren't
is
going to
more,
develop.
George.
For sure.
Yeah. Exactly.
Well, the Jedis I didn't mind because you were being introduced to them and they were going to be characters that mattered beyond, right?
Mm-hmm.
But just the whoever's, the NPCs, the barkeepers, everybody had to be an alien. And the CGI wasn't uniform across all of them, the quality anyway.
You could definitely tell it was forced.
Yeah.
Like, they're like, okay, yeah, that's not supposed to be there.
Yeah, a lot of green screen action.
Yeah.
And that's what killed those movies, for sure.
Absolutely. It was just too much.
If they'd gone way over, like so far beyond what they went, maybe. But they stayed too safe, way too safe.
Exactly. It did not put any heart They just wanted to put money into it. Like they just wanted to keep it going at that point.
Right on the coattails of the original ones.
And that's all he wanted to do was make money.
You can definitely tell those are money movies. The acting's horrible.
Yeah.
Except for like Revenge of the Sith. Like you could tell they figured it out by that point. But it's like
Yeah,
too
you
little,
could tell
too late.
like, well, he probably figured it out because he wasn't getting a good reaction. Like they weren't as impressed as he thought they were gonna be. People went wild, but not nearly.
Well, and this is where it overlaps with the original one, right? This is where you really get Darth Vader now.
Yep.
And you know it. That was the one thing you could not avoid going into that movie. You could not forget it. You couldn't ignore it. You're like, yep, I'm getting Darth Vader today, no matter what happens.
Right. And you got to think, like, people freaked out over it because they waited literally how long for these movies? Because they started talking about them when?
Yep.
You're almost
Late
5 years
80s.
ahead.
Well, at least
Like
5 years.
really-
So, yeah.
Yep.
Not very, very long after the third movie came out. You know what I mean? So they started talking about episode 1. And people got really excited, and then they started doing the countdown and everything, like in Fanboys.
Yeah, George started working on Phantom Menace, I think, in the early to mid '90s.
Yeah.
Sounds about right.
The funny thing, though, is in Revenge of the Sith, as bad as it is, it will likely live on the internet anyway as a meme, because how hilariously terrible is that whole higher ground bullshit? Like,
Oh, yeah,
Ewan
yeah.
McGregor, get the fuck out of here with that. That was unscripted and you suck.
Yeah.
It's
Well-
over, Anakin. I have the higher ground. You
That
underestimate my power. Don't try it.
That being said, you brought up Ewan McGregor. Let's talk about him.
Yes, let's.
Overall, I'd say pretty good Obi-Wan.
Yep.
Yeah,
Overall,
100%. He's
Perfect,
brilliant.
perfect Obi-Wan.
Yeah.
I would like. Damn, he looks just like Alec Guinness for one.
an older Alec Guinness, and he's logged more screen time than Alec Guinness did as Obi-Wan Kenobi.
So he for sure is Obi-Wan.
Yeah.
And they're doing a show about him now, ain't they?
Yes, they are. Yes,
Yeah,
they are.
That's pretty fucking exciting.
And
Hayden Christensen's coming back, yeah.
Hayden's coming back. Joel Edgerton's coming back as Uncle Owen. And there's a couple other people that are coming back to reprise roles.
And of course, Ewan McGregor.
Yeah, Ewan is, and the gal that played Aunt Beru, the younger Beru.
Yep.
But then there's some other newer, and there's supposed to be a little kid or some, or either a little kid or like a preteen cast as a young Luke Skywalker. Mm-hmm.
Interesting.
I'm excited for it. I like what Disney Plus has been doing with their shows.
Yeah.
Aside from the Mighty Ducks, but that's a whole other story for a whole other podcast.
Are you kidding? I'm sorry. No, you can't just say that. The new Mighty Ducks is brilliant, Joe. You get out of here.
Hey.
You get out of here, yeah. I was gonna be mean about pies, but like, no, I'm gonna take the moral high ground.
Boy.
Back
It's
cycling right
awesome.
around that high ground.
Yep.
All right, back to
Mate.
Star Wars. I'll get you some other
Mate.
time.
Okay, I'll leave you with this, Mage. They're just rehashing the first fucking Mighty Ducks movie
Yeah.
That's the idea.
for
of the
nostalgia purposes. Anyway, let's get back to the
yeah.
galaxy far, far away, gentlemen.
reboot. But
Land.
yeah, Ewan McGregor,
Gus.
Obi-Wan Kenobi for sure. And then
And pardon me. Oh, sorry. Go ahead. I was
no,
gonna
you go
interrupt
ahead. Matt.
Well, I was gonna swing away from you because the other meme to come out of Revenge of the Sith, of course, is the Academy.
Oh
Mhm.
God, yes. Master Skywalker, there's too
Everyone's
many
the
of them.
Cookie
What are we
Monster.
going to do?
Wow.
Oh,
Oh yeah.
he made mincemeat out of those little fuckers.
And I'll tell you what, like, that's pretty awesome. Right? They consider the direction those prequels were going. Just that act, like, that's Darth Vader
Mhm.
all damn day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Perfect. Well, I mean, it's not. I'm not saying I enjoyed watching it, but it was exactly what you would expect from Darth Vader on his way to
Exactly.
being Darth Vader.
100%.
There was one turn
Yeah.
Darth Vader would have made to make him Darth Vader. That was it.
Yeah.
There's no turning back.
You know, if the Force had just showed him in his fucking fever dream that the whole reason all that happened is because he turned to the dark side, he could have avoided all that.
That would have been
But
too
it
easy,
didn't.
Joe.
I know it would have been too. I've thought long and hard about this. I know. It
Then
just
there'd be
it's funny that the Force only chose to show him certain parts of, like Padme dying in childbirth, and all that.
Yeah.
How convenient, Force.
That kind of adds to the flavor though of like, letting his hate flow through him. Like if somebody would have stopped it, he wouldn't have been Darth Vader.
And maybe he did see the whole thing, Joe, but he was so angry and is so unable to control that like a Jedi would, that it's
that's a
just
good point.
clouding parts of it.
Yeah. Because that was
Yeah.
one letdown is he couldn't control like a Jedi could.
Good point, because he's probably still pissed off about the Sand People killing his mom, and then he butchered all the Sand People, the men, the women, the children, and even the dogs. I slaughtered them all.
But see, he's not. That's where I guess the Jedi Sith dynamic gets clouded, is despite doing all that super evil shit, he wasn't unredeemable.
Yeah.
Right. Like he had the whole time he had an opportunity to, and I think that they really, towards the end of Revenge of the Sith, they really developed that age of Anakin to turn him into Darth Vader so well. I think that's an underappreciated part of that movie, as a matter of fact.
Yeah.
Because given all the garbage I've given the prequels over the inability to suspend what that part of it nailed it.
Mm.
Right.
Yes.
You're like
1000%.
It's Vader, man. Like, I mean, you only got to see him look at the Death Star being built. That kind of sucked. But it's Vader.
Yeah, it's Darth Vader.
Absolutely.
Ah, yeah. So good.
So you mentioned Padme. Padme and Anakin is an interesting story as well.
Yes.
Because isn't she like 5 years older than him?
Yeah, when he was 9 years old in the Force, the Phantom Menace, she was
like
14.
Yeah, so 5 years. Yeah.
I remember that from the Weird Al song.
Yeah. She's 14.
Yeah, he's probably gonna marry her someday.
Looking back, that's really like it sounds weird looking back on it that way, but then I think about it and it's like my wife's 4 years older than I am, so
yeah,
not really.
Ain't nothing wrong with that.
Difference,
no. Once you get older, there's not really that difference,
right? Because the stigma's gone.
Yeah,
like you don't think about age once you're over a certain age. You know what I mean? Like I think once you're able to buy your own booze.
Yep.
See, if they had just if the council had just, they really emphasized the Jedi shall know not fear, nor anger, nor love, nor hate, all that jazz, hey, check your emotions at the door kind of thing. But at the same time, I have gripes with them because Jedi Master Ki-Adi-Mundi was allowed to have multiple wives because his species was in danger of going extinct. So he was allowed to procreate. Yeah. Anakin kept that fucking secret from the council, and that's just another reason for his downfall. Is like, hey, I'm a Jedi. I know I'm not supposed to love and stuff, but I really love Padme, and and then she surprises me after I save the Chancellor, like, I'm pregnant, and his reaction was just like, well, that's great, like,
congratulations.
I'm gonna be a dad. Yay!
Cigars.
Motherfucker, you have twins.
he got Mike.
Yeah. Oh, he got Erdade. Yes, he did. Erdade, Erday.
Little shout out. Yeah.
Shout out to Mike. How you doing, brother?
Yeah, we didn't really touch on Attack of the Clones too much, aside from.
Do we need to? It's
No,
just kind
No,
of.
there wasn't really much there, to be honest.
Kind of a filler movie.
More Wookiees.
Oh yeah, Wookiees played a big part in Revenge of the Sith. Like, we got to go to Kashyyyk, which is pretty fucking cool. We only ever heard of Chewie's homeworld.
Yeah,
like
but you never heard it named.
Chewie revenge scene was just so badass, like the Wookiee revenge.
Yep.
Insane. They had, you could tell they had so much rage about what happened, and they just let loose.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
I wouldn't mind a Disney Plus show that just deals with we go to Kashyyyk.
That'd be awesome.
Obviously, we're gonna need like a point of view character, that isn't a Wookiee, because they don't speak English. Or sorry, galactic basic.
Human.
Yeah, well, yeah, it's just
called human.
I imagine it's just probably not English that we're, it's just translated like from what, so we know what the hell they're saying.
Yeah,
basic human language, probably.
Yes, yes, like you said, galactic.
Even in D&D, there's a difference. Like, there's no human language; it's common.
Yes,
and that's the equivalent in the Star Wars universe, is like Republican Basic or whatever you called it.
Yeah, galactic basic. Yeah, that's what they call it. That's what they call it in canon. So I'm just going with that. Even it's weird though. In some of the movies, you can see English wording on signs and shit, and then you see like this weird fucking Predator-looking language. Like, what were they just lazy that day when they were fucking making that shit? What the hell? So English is canon to the Star Wars universe, is what you're telling me. Interesting. No, and then some nerd in the comments. Actually, shut the fuck up, Gunthar. Why don't you ask your mom for more fucking Hot Pockets to bring down to the basement and
no more.
Shut the
no
fuck
more.
up.
You get no more Hot Pockets.
Malamars.
No,
I want moon pies, Mom.
oh my god. Well, there goes half our fan base.
No moon pies for you.
Remember, I said we'll pay you $1.
Craig, you can edit that out, right?
No.
Oh god, it stays.
You gotta wear it, buddy.
Yeah, I'll wear that like a fucking scarlet letter.
So what do you say, gentlemen? One more break here.
Yeah, I think it's break time. We'll finish up with
Come
these
back and talk about
newbies.
the final three.
Yeah.
Smoke break. And
Alright.
we'll talk about.
And cut.
Journey to the all-new world of adventure with the Star Wars droids. The race is on. R2-D2 and C-3PO get Thal Jobin ready, set, and gone. Thal's a sure winner, but villains Size and Teeth Rome want to stop him. From the side gunner Teague attacks. Thal races for his life, but here comes Jor Dusat in his A-Wing. He fires, hits his mark, and sends Teague sailing, who says good guys finish last. Share the adventure with these figures and vehicles, batteries not included, each sold separately. New from Kenner's Star Wars Droids Collection.
Grab control of a pod racer and hang on for the race of your life. You're Anakin Skywalker or Sebulba in a heart-pounding race for survival. Scream through Beggar's Canyon at 600. Better make that turn, because victory tastes a whole lot better than dirt. Have you experienced Star Wars? Pod Racer, each sold separately. It's your universe.
Yeah, welcome back. Talking about the sequels now.
Yeah.
Force Awakens, Last Jedi, and Return of Skywalker.
The Rise of Skywalker.
Rise of Skywalker, sorry.
Nah, you're good.
Bad nerd. Bad nerd.
Why don't we just call it like the atom bomb of the series?
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh.
So we'll start with Force Awakens because that was the one everybody was waiting for.
Yeah.
They're like after the shit box that was the prequels.
Mm-hmm.
We need redemption.
Yeah.
Because updated CGI and shit works for sequels a hell of a lot better than it works for prequels. And so,
yes.
Because it makes sense. Now, I'm sure there's some people that have not seen it, but if they haven't seen it, then they're
Spoilers.
fuck them. They're either super duper Star Trek fans or they've been living under a rock for the last almost 5 years.
Hi, sissy.
No, she's caught up. She's caught up on the movies.
All
so
right,
we're
cool.
good. But,
Awesome.
Yeah, yep. And she got into them. It's okay. She converted.
Yeah.
She converted, yes.
She's still attractive,
good.
but we love her.
Oh, I was saying the same thing in our conversation a few days ago. Like, I'm a huge Star Wars stan, but I sometimes forget that I love Star Trek too.
I mean, I'm not opposed to Star Trek, but it's just I like Star Wars.
Yeah.
I couldn't tell you shit about Star Trek. I can talk about Star Wars.
Yeah, I'm not the same kind of fan, but I do like Star Trek.
Right. Yeah. You're like,
yes.
It's kind of like in Big Bang Theory. They like both of them. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
They don't go one way or the other, but when they're talking about one, it's that one.
Yeah.
You're talking about Star Trek. You're talking about fucking Star Trek. You're not talking about Star Wars. You better not intermingle characters. Or you're gone.
You're asking for trouble if you ask who could beat up who, Picard or Han Solo.
Right. Because everybody knows it's Han Solo.
Exactly. And I will hear no fucking argument about whether Jean-Luc Picard could or could not beat up Han Solo. Han Solo beat his ass.
Yep. Absolutely.
I'm just saying.
I'm not gonna argue.
Just saying what.
I'm not gonna argue.
Speaking of Han Solo, Force Awakens saw the return of Han Solo and Chewbacca.
And the Millennium Falcon.
It felt wonderful. Hit you right. Right in the heart.
The conveniently placed Millennium Falcon.
Yes, absolutely. That when that hit the screen first, I was like, yay.
Introduced to the origins of the Space Navy with that little ship they had there.
Yep.
Yeah, like it worked really well for a lot of reasons. It was a good movie, decent storyline, but it had the nostalgia.
It did. It was basically New Hope 2.0.
It's exactly what it was. I gave it the pass because I went and saw it in the theater after that whole long marathon. The first watch, if I hadn't watched it again after, I would never have said a negative thing about it. But it's exactly New Hope, just on Jakku.
Yeah.
And it was a very safe movie. And after that first watch, it was very disappointing.
Yeah. Yeah, you watch it again, it's kind of a letdown, but
yeah,
the first time you watch it, you're like, holy shit.
Well, this is Star Wars is back, baby.
You're like, this is what I've been fucking waiting for. Like,
I was so ready for that movie. I took Kennedy to the theater with me. She was a tiny baby still in her car seat. And I'm watching The Force Awakens, and she slept through the whole fucking thing, dude.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
Yeah, I know.
Are you ready for it out?
Mm-hmm. What's that?
No, you're good.
Hello.
You're good.
Hi,
Yeah,
sorry.
my wife's being loud.
Hi, Sam. Welcome to the Geek Den. Nah, you're good. You're good. All are welcome in the Geek Den. And yes.
Off camera, but yeah, like
I don't want a camera.
it was a lot of things with Force Awakens, like to hit you right here, especially at the end of it.
They did check a lot of boxes.
Yeah. Like when Kylo Ren does the thing, with to Han, when we lose Han, you know who I felt for? Chewbacca.
Yes, because he took it the hardest.
Because Wookiees
That was his dog.
can live to what 500 some odd years old. And just like Sam said, Han Solo was Chewbacca's dog.
Yeah.
Actually, Chewbacca was sworn to protect Han Solo because he saved his life.
He swore a life debt.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, but not only that, but I think their relationship was well beyond that at that point.
Oh,
you know what I mean? They
But
were
that was
definitely
a real thing with them, though. Like that was a real spiritual thing for Wookiees.
Yeah, like he felt he owed Han Solo his life.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
and
failed to do so.
Right. Yep. He failed to protect him, and so he's got revenge on the mind. Almost, he has to right that wrong somehow.
Yeah.
And that's what leads us into the next two movies, which I kind of want to jump ahead a little bit and get into the Rise of Skywalker, because that one hits you in the feels a lot too, but for a different reason, and that reason is the late great Carrie Fisher.
Yes.
And that entire movie, every time she was on screen, I teared up because it came out after she left this plane, and it was just cool. That was a rough one for nerds.
Mm-hmm.
It was rough on me, and I'm not even that big into the movies. You know, I'm not your typical Star Wars geek. I just like the movies. You know what I mean?
I get it, dude. She was a pop culture icon, man. And you know,
and she was a fantastic person in the long run.
She had her problems with like, you know.
Absolutely. Yeah. And that can make you seem like something you're not, and because it brings out a different side of people. Addiction does. I've been around it my whole life, so it's like,
yes,
I know what it does to people that wouldn't be like that if they weren't attached to that. And when she got clean, you knew. It's like, that's Carrie Fisher right there. That's who we love. And then, yeah, but I feel they did a pretty good tribute to General Organa.
Yes.
Well, and it gave him an opportunity to bring Lando too, right?
Yes. Yep. Billy D.
Finally got around to it in the third fucking installment in the sequel trilogy, but better late than never, I guess.
And I like Lando. He's cool.
I love, yes.
Yep. Billy D. Williams.
When I first
Original Harvey Dent.
Yeah, dude, deep cuts, man. Fucking 1989 Batman. He was Harvey fucking Dent.
Yes, sir.
Where was that Batman movie?
Yeah, I know, right?
We got Tommy Lee Jones. I love Tommy Lee Jones.
Back on the rails. Back on the rails.
All right, yeah.
That was my fault. That was my fault.
You good. You good. I almost derailed us.
Nope, we're good. We didn't get too far gone.
All right.
Now, let's go to Last Jedi. I don't remember too much of it because I've only seen it once.
Yep.
I've seen the other ones multiple times.
Yep. Same.
Like Force Awakens, I've seen like 3 times.
Isn't Last Jedi the one with that big old casino scene?
Yeah. Canto Bite.
That was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Did you like it, Matt?
I did, because it is quite unlike anything in the rest of the movies. And I thought that their ability to make alien species was much better in this movie than it had been in, say, Phantom Menace.
Correct.
And it was not nearly as forced.
Oh my God, a cat.
Kitties!
Todd. Sorry.
Oh, the kitties!
Sweeney Todd.
Sorry.
Go
That is
ahead,
an
Matt.
awesome
Sorry.
name for a cat. Yeah, sorry, dude.
Always got a
Sorry.
No, you're saying about the Canto Bite casino scene?
Yeah. Just
and different aliens and shit. Yes.
well, and that whole thing. Maybe not into the slave bits. That's never fun, no matter what universe that's going on in. But just I guess the pure Star Wars feel of it, the alien species, the intrigue, the subterfuge, all of that. Even that guy, giving him the knife at the end, right, stabbing him in the back. That was, that's pure space rodeo,
right?
And I like that bit anyway. I mean, this isn't a top 5 movie in the franchise for sure, but it's not the worst one.
Yeah, I wouldn't say it is. Yeah,
we're just about there, but it's not the worst one.
Yeah, we know what the worst one is.
Yeah, I think I put my stance down on what the worst one is to me, personally.
Phantom Menace. I think that's a collective agreement here in the Geek Den.
Actually, I'm not.
Rise of Skywalker is pretty close to the worst.
I like Rise of Skywalker though.
It's just I can't.
I mean, that's fair. I can understand that. Why
Disney stabbed me twice in 12 months with Endgame.
Yeah.
And this movie.
You didn't like Endgame, dude?
Fair point.
Nope.
Okay. We got to delve into that a little bit. What?
Not on Star Wars Day. You beat it.
Okay, well then let's delve into why Rise of Skywalker did that to you then.
It's just so absolutely forced, the whole movie.
It was basically a cinematic band-aid to try to fix what came before. I don't hate The Last Jedi, but I do see why a lot of people didn't like it. I like it because it's a Star Wars movie. I said I like it. I didn't say I love it. It's got its problems. I didn't think that's. I don't see Luke Skywalker acting like that in the beginning of the movie, just throwing his dad's lightsaber over his shoulder and being a little bitch about that. Like, no, that's not the hero that we fell in love with in A New Hope, and then we followed in Empire and Jedi.
Yeah.
Yeah, fair point. Fair point.
I get that Ryan Johnson was trying to do something, different. Kudos, but maybe do it with. Here's the thing: he wanted to make a Star Wars movie and just like something original, but set in the galaxy far, far away. And they're like, "Hey, why don't you do the next Skywalker saga?" Okay. No. 19.
I agree.
Yeah.
They should have just gave Abrams all 3 fucking movies.
Yeah. I agree.
After all was said and done, this is just my 2 cents, guys. Don't. I'm just. I'm an.
That's why we do this.
I'm passionate, man.
That's why we do it.
You're hitting the nail on the head, man. Absolutely.
Yeah. I agree wholeheartedly that Abrams should have done all 3 movies. Like they shouldn't have changed it up at all. He should have had those movies.
Yes, it just feels like a different trilogy with J.J. Abrams does 2 of them, Ryan Johnson in the middle, and when you watch the trailer for Rise of Skywalker and you see the weird alien dude welding Kylo Ren's helmet back together, that's kind of like a metaphor for like, oh, we're trying to fix this. Don't leave us yet. Don't leave us yet.
Yeah.
Right.
Like the opening weekend of Rise of Skywalker, The Mandalorian also came out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And who knew, guys.
That's a very fair point.
I love Star Wars, and I hate anytime I shit on it because I can shit on the things I love.
Yeah.
I can shit on Terminator at times.
Same.
Yeah,
you know what I shit on the most?
What?
Professional wrestling. You know who shits most on professional wrestling? Wrestling fans.
Pretty much.
Because it's fucking ridiculous. It's a soap opera for men.
I heard.
And so that's why we shit on it, because it's utterly ridiculous and we're ridiculous. But that's why we love it. You know what I mean? We hate each other. We hate wrestling, but we love wrestling.
Yes. It's funny you say that because I heard somebody say a while back, nobody hates Star Wars more than Star Wars fans. And I thought,
it's true.
That's exactly right.
Very true. We love it, but god damn it, do we hate it.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Speaking of fans.
And that kind of ties back to what we were talking about. Like, there's people that just only love the original trilogy and they have nothing to do with the prequels or the sequels. I do.
Yeah.
It's all,
But it isn't to say that it even touches it though, right? Like the point is nobody's denying that those original 3 are the greatest ever.
Yeah.
Not even close.
Yeah.
Nothing.
We can find things about the prequels and the sequels that we love. We can find things about the prequels and the sequels that we hate. We can find things about the original that we love and hate.
Yeah.
Bottom line is we love Star Wars.
Exactly.
Misa don't like you, James.
Good. I hate you, Jar Jar.
Misa go back to Naboo.
Stay there, fucker.
I think having all the series that they're going to have, like the Boba Fett and the Mandalorian, and like you just said, there are faults. They're not perfect, not by Not by a long shot, but they're fun because they're Star Wars. And that's the same thing through all 9 of those movies, and Rogue One, and the Han Solo one. They're Star Wars movies.
Haven't seen Han Solo yet.
I think it's fine.
Yeah, I'm gonna check
like
it out. I like to form my own opinions on that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
I got halfway through it and I liked what I was watching.
I do have a complaint, but that's maybe some for another time. There was a casting choice I wasn't a fan of, but aside from that,
Star Wars Day.
Well, it wasn't an important character, so who gives a shit? It was just the one character.
Okay, so you mentioned like how fans hate Star Wars. There's a movie about those kind of people. Fanboys.
Yeah.
Good movie.
We got to bring up Fanboys.
Mm-hmm. The honorable mention,
Because
absolutely. God damn, it's such a good movie.
My God, what a great fucking movie.
Mm-hmm.
And because it's like, had I been in that age group, that would have been me.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? I would have been with those guys in the van listening to Rush, driving across the country to fucking break into Skywalker Ranch and steal a copy of Phantom Menace.
Dude, that's the 4 of us in that fucking van, man.
For fuck's sake.
I'm Hutch because I got a Chevy Suburban. I can haul all of us and our shit.
Absolutely.
We call it the Hutch Touch.
It's a
carriage. It's we've been through this. It's a carriage house. It's a garage, dude. Say it one more time. Hey,
we're ganging up the windows in Mario Kart.
You grab a controller, man. Which one of these windows? If you ever talk to my niece again, I will hunt you down like a T-1000.
Very Noel.
Yeah, I know. Ethan Suplee before he lost all the weight and got jacked.
When he was on the down, it looked like he had just started the weight loss around then.
It did, yes.
Yeah.
Like I've
He
seen.
was a lot bigger about a year before that. So.
Have you seen him lately? He's like,
dude, he is jacked.
It's like he's training to be in a Marvel movie.
Yeah,
I mean,
he looks like a
maybe he
Marvel
is.
villain.
Yeah.
I would like to see that.
The Mad Mage is scratching his chin.
I don't know. I haven't heard anything. I was just being a dick.
God damn it! You can't do that.
Oh, you can't do that, dude. Don't fucking tease like that.
It's like calling him soup pie.
I don't call soup pie.
I know. We do.
Yes.
You ever call it soup or pie on the Death Star?
Oh,
yeah,
shit. Would they serve it with blue milk?
No. No blue milk for you.
No blue milk.
Terrible. You're out.
Matt, we already talked, dude. You and I know what pie is.
Yeah, no, that's true.
Yeah, I'm just teasing. I'm just teasing.
I'll never let the pie thing go.
Nope.
No.
Greg, you and I, buddy. We got it. Pennsylvania and that.
Hey, it fucks with me too.
Yeah, the wife's from Georgia, so she understands.
So, okay, not to go too far off a tangent, just real quick. Would lasagna be Italian pie?
No, it's a casserole.
Yeah, I call it a casserole.
What if you made it in a circle dish?
Lasagna is lasagna.
Yeah,
that's being a pie.
Okay. Let's do
What if
this.
it's a noodle pie?
No.
I've made some spaghetti pie. Spaghetti pie.
What if I used like shit. Like I took a croissant no, never mind. I was gonna say like I wanted to make a
Joe. Is the thing you're thinking of a pie?
Yeah, it's got crust on top and bottom.
But if it's not a pie, then it's not a pie. That's it.
No, it's gotta have a garlic bread crust top and bottom to be lasagna. Lasagna pie. There you go.
Be a dinner pie at that point.
It just has to not be soup. And
I don't know.
lasagna.
I think
and
you're on
soup.
other things.
Totally.
No, because okay. To clarify a little bit,
No.
what Matt is talking about when he says
Pie.
soup. Matt, let me explain this. This is for everybody. This is important.
He means
stuff.
his pie.
I wait with bated breath.
So
Said nobody.
There's an old Pennsylvania Dutch dish that's been made for hundreds of years. Started with the Amish. It's called ham pot pie.
Okay.
But it's not a pie. And I tell people this. Matt just giving me shit.
It's not a pie.
And Craig knows about this dish because he's from bumfuck Pennsylvania too.
And it is a pie in a pie. You use a pie.
It's basically a deconstructed meat pie.
Yeah.
Okay. And so what you do is you cook a ham, like I do mine in a crock pot, right?
And then put it in a soup, and then put it in a bowl. That makes it not a
Well,
pie.
you let me do it. You make a ham broth. Yes, heresy, exactly. You make a ham broth up, right? And then you take the broth.
That pie has broth in
Put
it.
in the
No.
gas pot. And then you make a dough. And then roll it out, cut it into squares, and boil those dough noodles you just made in the ham broth.
Okay.
And then you can put in onions and potatoes.
Ooh,
And then you take a ladle, put it in a bowl, and mow down. It's fucking delicious.
And none of those things make it a pie.
And if
But
you
if you
wanted
s-
to, you could even throw it in the oven afterwards and make it a pie.
As long as you have a crust on top and bottom, then it's a pie. Yeah.
It doesn't.
Pumpkin pie have a crust on top?
No, and that's not a pie either.
How dare you?
What would
How
you
dare
qualify?
you.
What would that qualify as, Matt? What would pumpkin pie qualify as? Not pie?
Terrorism, Al Qaeda. That's what.
Fucking Christ.
Damn, bro.
You know what else
Oh my
doesn't have
God.
a top? Pecan pie.
No, it doesn't. And neither does chocolate mousse pie.
Listen, you
Which, by
can't
the way,
reason
is
with a
fucking
pie is,
delicious.
right?
Chocolate
No,
mousse.
you can't. No, you can't. No, you know what, Matt? I'm sorry, but pumpkin pie is fucking pie.
All pies, man.
Yeah, I will argue that all day long.
There
Soup
are
is
some
pie, so pie. Everything is pie.
No. What they're talking about, that's not fucking pie. And you and I both fucking know that. You're down here.
It's a stew.
You're down here.
Okay. I'm poking you in the side of the head right now. Hello, James.
All right, we got a couple minutes left. We want to.
Oh yeah,
Our
we
announcement?
got our announcement to
Closing.
make.
Yeah, announcement.
Next week we got a guest, and it's a pretty big get. I would say, Craig, you want to do the honors? You want me to go ahead, or Matt, or Joe?
Go ahead.
You guys who
Uh,
wants to take this?
oh,
Craig, you got them for us. So you want to do
Craig,
it?
yeah, you do it, dude.
All right, fine. Next
Yeah.
week we got Ray Rocket coming in here, talk a little geekage on us, and gonna be a hell of a lot of fun.
If you don't know, ladies and gentlemen, if you do not know who Ray fucking Rocket is, quick bringer upper. He's the rhythm guitarist in Teenage Bottle Rocket.
Very, very good.
Ray
man.
Carlisle.
Ray Carlisle, known as Ray Rocket, and he's a cool ass dude.
Very cool.
Huge geek.
Forward to talking some geekage with him.
One of the best lines in a song I've ever heard is when Cody said, "Get a load of this. Ray beat the piss out of Peter Chris. Well, we're bigger than Kiss."
Right. That's right. We're gonna be bigger than the Angry Nerd. We're coming for your ass.
Solidified
Oh,
them
the angry
as a
video game nerd.
Hey, that dude.
boy. You're going down.
Bigger than you.
motherfucker.
We're coming after you, angry video game nerd.
Yeah, us common collected old
Hi.
guys. After
Hello.
you. Hello.
We're not really. We're not really. We're cool, you know. We're just some
All right, so
nerds
next
talking.
week-
Magic.
Yeah, we're intensive Care Bears.
Yep. So next week
Oh
we
my
got
God.
Ray Rocket coming,
Rocket.
and
We're
then
we're. I'm
we got more guests on down the road as well. Some hopefuls, and we're gonna bring in some
Beginning.
more of our PR family.
Yeah.
Them in here, bullshit with us.
Love to get Kenny Thorson on here sometime.
Yeah. Our buddy in
Kenny, if
Scotland
you're
who does our
watching this,
theme song.
let's talk.
Yep.
we've
Kenny,
come a
you're
long
on
way in just
5, 4, 3, 2. All right. Well, gentlemen, one more time. May the 4th be with you.
Yeah.
May the 4th be with you.
May the 4th be with you.
May the 4th be with you.
Good night.
And if you ain't got no friends, we'll be some.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Oh, and Matt,